Welcome, whatever time you're watching this. Today's topic: how to build muscle as a minimalist. How to build muscle as a minimalist. You know the drill. Like, follow, subscribe. How to build muscle as a minimalist. This video is for the guys or girls who want to stay in shape, but because of work, lifestyle, simply not caring that much about the gym, you want to train in the most optimal way possible while spending the least amount of time in there. Now, most people think building muscle requires some 6-day bodybuilding split, 20 exercises per session, and a gym bag full of supplements that looks like you're smuggling protein powders across the borders. But here's the truth: you can build muscle minimalistically. And for a lot of you, that might actually be the smarter, more sustainable way to train. So, let's break it down. Compound movements: squat, deadlift, bench press, overhead press, pull ups, and rows are the backbone of a minimalist training program. Why? Because they hit multiple muscle groups at once. Now, I lean a bit more science based in my exercise selection approach than the average gym goer, so I may have slated some of these exercises in the past have been suboptimal. However, when it comes to minimalistic training, you want to hit as many muscle groups as possible with one exercise. And compounds do exactly that. Take the bench press, for example. It's primarily a chest movement, but your front delts and your triceps are very much involved too. That's way more time efficient than doing a pec fly, shoulder press machine, and a tricep push down separately in one session. Understand? That being said, let's not get so obsessed with efficiency that it turns into laziness, or you end up neglecting entire muscle groups. The more practical way to think about it is this: if you're not bench pressing and your front delts are really good, then maybe you only need one direct front delt exercise in your entire weekly program, since they're already being worked during your benching. Now, on the other hand, if your triceps are lagging, then don't just rely only on the indirect stimulus from the bench press movement. Make sure you add 2 or 3 dedicated tricep exercises across your weekly program. Okay? So, yes, use compounds, but be smart enough to recognize when certain body parts need more direct work. Compounds alone won't always be enough. Second point: sets, frequency, and how often you need to train. To train effectively as a minimalist, you only need to train 2 or 3 times a week. Yes, you heard that correct. You don't need to live in a gym. Research from Wernborough and colleagues in 2007 suggests that hitting each muscle group 2 to 3 times per week is optimal for hypertrophy. This means even in a simple full body plan, 3 days a week can be enough to pack on gains. Meaning, ideally, you can be in the gym 3 times a week for an hour to an hour and a half and still build a significant amount of muscle. That's a minimalist dream. A meta analysis from Schoenfeld, Oborn, and Krieger in 2017 found that doing around 10 to 20 sets per muscle group per week is a sweet spot for growth. However, I would say that's even too much, even if you're a maximalist, as it doesn't even account for things like fatigue. So ideally, 4 to 10 working sets is the actual sweet spot for the average gym goer. As for the minimalist, 2 to 4 working sets per muscle group will be 100% fine, okay? It'll still give you visible gains and you still progress as long as you're pushing yourself hard enough. As for reps, anywhere in the 5 to 8 rep range is generally effective as long as you're training close to failure. In plain English, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Do enough sets to stimulate the growth. Choose a rep range you can progressively overload and then get out of the gym. Third point: progressive overload plus order of programming. Minimalism works because it forces you to focus on what matters, adding weight to the bar, improving form, and increasing that weight over time. It's progressive overload, which is the effect of muscle growth, not the cause of it. Now, nobody cares if you can balance your bow ball doing curls with one foot there. Like, nobody cares. Like, nobody cares. if you're not actually lifting more over time, your muscles have no reason to grow. Remember, also to place your weak points nearer to the beginning of the session. And this goes for anybody, not just minimalists. Weak points near the beginning of your program. And the strong points nearer to the bottom. So you have more energy to recruit more motor units earlier in the session for the weak points that you want to prioritize. Now, understanding this means you don't need to follow that age-old cliche of compounds first, then isolations. I don't know why I thought I was trying to do an old man accent, but don't mind me. Anyway, it's more so weak points first, then everything else. As for most people, 6 to 9 exercises per session is the sweet spot. However, there's nothing wrong with doing more than 9. It just won't be ideal for the minimalist I'm speaking to in this video. Fourth and final point, recovery and nutrition. Now here's where minimalism really shines. If you're not burning yourself out with 15 plus exercises per session, you recover faster. And muscle growth happens when you recover, not when you're grinding out your 5th set of cable flies. Pair that with a solid protein intake around 1 to 2.2 grams per kilograms of body weight per day, and just set. Minimal training means you've got way more bandwidth for sleeping, 7+ hours, eating and actually living life without the gym being your everything. Minimalism in training works because it keeps you consistent, and consistency is the key ingredient in what actually cuts up a good physique. Consistency. Stop overcomplicating it. If you've understood but still want additional guidance on how to curtail your session to a minimalistic approach, click the link in my bio and join my online coaching. Act fast. I know you're ready for change. Thank you guys for watching to the end. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Follow me on my other platforms. Insta, TikTok, and YouTube. Thank you. Have a lovely day.